You can repeat after me. Okay, you have done already. So we'll just do the translation then. Of all the Rudras, I am Lord Shiva, and of the Yakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kuvera. Of the Vasus, I am Fire, Agni, and of mountains, I am Meru, Purport. There are 11 Rudras, of whom Shankara, Lord Shiva, is predominant. He is the incarnation of the Supreme Lord in charge of the mode of ignorance in the universe. The leader of the Yakshas and Rakshasas is Kuvera, master and treasurer of the demigod, and he is the representation of the Supreme Lord. Meru is a mountain famed for its rich natural resources. The details are given how Krishna is the best of everyone and essence of everyone, everything that is being explained. So Rudras, of whom Shankara, Lord Shiva, is prominent. So he is the best of Rudra. Same way he is the Lord of Wealth, the Vasus. Sorry, of the Rakshas and Rakshasas, I am the Lord of Wealth, Kuvera. So he is the best among the Yakshasas and Rakshasas. And Krishna is the best among, and with that is Kuvera. And then of the Vasus, Agni. And among the mountains, Meru. So he is the best of all, I will explain here. And Prabhupada explains about how Lord Shiva is the predominant Rudra. And is the incarnation of Supreme Lord in charge of the mode of ignorance in the universe. So yeah, Lord Shiva is Shambhu Tattva though. So it's incarnation, but it's in a different way. But it is a glance of Lord Vishnu with Shambhu. And the Shambhu is like, Brahma Samhita says, the milk converts into curd. Same way Shiva's position is like that. So Shiva is not as powerful as Krishna or Vishnu, but he is also an incarnation of the Lord, considered incarnation of the Lord, but not exactly as Vishnu Tattva. No. So Vishnu Tattva is different. It's called Shambhu Tattva. So that Tattva should be understood properly. In fact, Lord Shiva is called as a devotee of the Lord. Vaishnava Yatha Shambhu. He's actually a devotee. So, yeah, Kuvera, no. Kuvera's two sons, Nalagriva, Manigriva, Nal Kuvera. So, they were the two sons and the whole pastime. So the Kuvera is the treasurer of this universe. Kuvera. Then we go to next. Purodhasam cha mukhyam mam vidhi partha brahmaspatim Srinamaham skandam sarasatmasmi sagaraha. Can read, Prabhu? Of priest, yeah.
I can read for of priests, O Arjuna, know me to be chief Brihaspati. Of generals, I'm a Kartikeya, and of bodies of water, I am the ocean. Indra is the chief demigod of the heavenly planets and known as the king of the heavens. The planet on which he reigns is called Indraloka. Brihaspati is Indra's priest. And since Indra is the chief of all kings, Brihaspati is the chief of all priests. And as Indra is the chief of all kings, similarly Skanda or Kartikeya, the son of Parvati and Lord Shiva, is the chief of all military commanders. And of all bodies of water, the ocean is the greatest. These representations of Krishna only give hints of his greatness.
Yeah, it's only hints of this greatness. He is much more greater. So the ocean is so great that it neither increases when rivers and rains pour into it, nor decreases when its waters evaporate. That's how it is so great. In fact, Krishna uses this example of ocean to illustrate how Asthita Pragya, the self-realized person, is undisturbed, even though there will be rain, the river-like desires coming. So even if there are temptations coming in, he doesn't respond to them because of his fullness like an ocean. Apurimanam achalam pratishtam samudram apnoti. They say samudram apnoti. So it's compared to ocean. His heart is compared to ocean like that. So ocean is so great in that sense. Okay. Yeah. So you can see here. Yeah. And he says, The Indra is the chief of the demigod of the heavenly planets. Sometimes Krishna himself incarnates as Indra also. And though they are forced generally some Jiva may occupy, but sometimes Krishna may also incarnate as Krishna can actually be the Indra, and Brahaspati may be the Supreme Lord also. Indra and Lord Brahma may be the Supreme Lord also. So it is possible sometimes Krishna may do that also. So, but in general, it is post. Like if no one, like Krishna may himself take the post sometimes. The planet on which he reigns is called Indraloka. Sometimes it's like temple vision may also be, in charge. Sometimes he do that. So Brahaspati is Indra's priest, and since Indra is the chief of all kings, Brahaspati is the chief of all priests. Indra is the chief of all kings. Indra is Skanda, Kartikeya. Son of Parvati, and Shiva is the chief of all military commanders. So all the universal government is being taken care by Krishna through all his representatives, you can see. So whenever you find such powerful beings who represent, they are actually representing the Lord, So, so one can see Krishna. One can see Krishna when we see them, because we are nothing but they are representing the Supreme Lord, representators of the Supreme Lord, like that. And especially anything powerful, you see, Krishna says eventually, anything you see, powerful, vibhuti, opulent, understand is the spark of my splendor only. So you can see me like that. So these representations of Krishna only gives hints of his greatness. Maharchinam Bhagoraham Girimam Charam Jnanam Japa Yogyosmi Yat Stavaranam Himalaya. Read this book.
Of all the sages, I am Brigu. Of Om, of sacrifices, I am the chanting of the holy names, Japa, and of immovable things, I am the Himalayas. Purport: Brahma, the first living creature within the universe, created several sons for the propagation of various kinds of species. Among these sons, Brigu is the most powerful sage. Of all the transcendental vibrations, Om, or Omkara, represents Krishna. Of all sacrifices, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare
Omkara
Rama,
represents
Hare
Krishna.
Rama.
Of all sacrifices, the chanting of Hare Krishna, Hare Rama is the purest. Sometimes animal sacrifices recommended sacrifice of Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. There is no question of violence. I don't know whether your voice is breaking or I can't hear. I'm not sure. It is simplest and the purest. Whatever is sublime in the world is a representation of Krishna. Therefore, the Himalayas, the greatest mountains of the world, also represent him. Meru was mentioned in the previous verse, but Meru is sometimes movable, whereas the Himalayas are never movable. Because the Himalayas are greater than Meru. So, important thing is among all the sacrifices, chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the purest representation of Krishna. So, it's directly Krishna, in fact. Japa Yogyosmi. Of all the transcendental vibrations, Omkar represents Krishna. Yes. A vibration of the transcendental Om. Prabhupada says also sometimes, some place that how the Omkar and Hare Krishna are non-different. And says whatever is sublime in this world is a representation of Krishna. The point I was saying. Whatever the best of anything is what it represents Krishna. Sometimes animal sacrifice is recommended, when they sacrifice Hare Krishna Mahamantra, there is no violence. So Hare Krishna Mantra is the best. There may be some kind of difficulties and challenges in performing any kind of sacrifices. But chanting Hare Krishna Mantra is the most simplest. It's simplest and most sublime. The highest form of sacrifice. Anybody can do that. Sometimes, as per your economic situations, sometimes you may not be able to perform certain sacrifices. Ashwamedha Yajna somebody has to do, or Rajasya Yajna somebody has to do. It requires a lot of qualifications. But if you have to do Hare Krishna Mantra, Japa Yajna, anybody can do. No previous qualification required. And no harm, like at least for Yajna, you may have to, some Yajnas, you have to sacrifice animal. Otherwise, you may also have to sometimes, you get some fuel, so you have to cut trees, you have to get some woods for doing that. Some kind of violence may be there. You lit the fire, some insects may die. things like that. So, but the point is, Hare Krishna Mahamantra is the purest. It does not involve any kind of violence, and it is benefiting everyone. Simplest and the purest. What is sometime in the okay, therefore the Himalayas. So it says, among the overall things, I am the Himalaya. Because their mountains would move also. So you can see that actually it is said that the Himalayas would even fly. I mean, not Himalayas, the mountains would even fly. So Indra, once he cut down the wings, so many times, so there's many of those mountains they just got stable at one place. But actually, mountains are living beings, and they would move also before. But Himalaya is never movable. The Himalayas are greater than movable, saying like that. What it says, Japa the symptoms of sacrifice, Vidyanam Japa Yasmi, of sacrifice, I'm standing holy name. Prabhupada explains this. Okay. Okay, I'll pause here. Pratash Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So